I have noticed that Lisa's not shy.
Not shy.
Hopefully I have the beginning of that where Lisa was just telling me that she is not shy, and I will confirm that last night because while I was sitting having my dinner, I had this lovely voice come over and say, "Excuse me, are you Rob Appel from Making It Fun?" And I said, "But of course I am." And she says, "Well, I hate to interrupt you, but I just wanted to come and offer you some support.
Yes.
I understand you've had some life changes recently, and I think what you're doing is wonderful, and I want to tell every single person out there how important it is to support each other." Lisa, what you said to me last night meant the world. Thank you for that.
Did it really? Thank you. You're welcome. I just wanted you to know that there's a lot of people who love you and support what you're doing, and we just want you to know that we appreciate you and want the best for you.
I totally feel that love and energy out there in the market. It has been an incredible few months for me. And, you know, this interview is not supposed to be about me. So before I get too carried away, Lisa, do please tell me your first name, last name, where your shop's at, all of that real quick.
Lisa Stantz, and we're in Spencer, Indiana, which is southwest of Indianapolis. And what else did you want to know?
That was great, Lisa Stantz. Oh, did you say the name of your shop?
The name of my shop, Unraveled.
Ah, no, you didn't say that. I would have remembered that, of course. That's a great name. How long have you been open for?
We've been open, we just celebrated 3 years.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're new. We're a little baby shop.
What were you interested in before quilting?
I love to paint and draw and flower designing and okay, so somebody asked me how I got in the business, and I said, I love fabric, I love people, and I love creating. So when you put all three of those things together,
Quilting. I had to steal the best line, of course.
Because quilters are the best.
Yes. Well,
and project makers. Well, I won't leave those out.
Yeah, no, and you hear me talk about it a lot right now, but that whole crafting is therapy, quilting is therapy. You know, working with our hands is good for our heart and our soul as well. And that's why it meant so much to me last night that you came up to offer your support, because it's easy to have a thought and keep it to yourself.
Right.
You know, and sometimes I wish some of you would keep those thoughts to yourselves. But I do appreciate the feedback that's out there.
Keep the negative to yourself, please.
Yes, and we talked about it in another interview, also learning how to accept the compliment of saying thank you, and or being able to openly say, you know, that was important to me. That I appreciate that, because now we have this great, strong relationship going back and forth. And that's just what quilting and crafting and what we do in fiber is really about.
Right.
Gosh, you want to add anything to that?
I want to add, no, I mean, we all need to work together. I mean, it's not a competition. It's just all about creating and loving what you do. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If it makes you happy, then do it.
Yeah. Right. Oh, so great segue. What kind of quilts do you personally like to make?
I love paper piecing. And then just your traditional, like, easy. I want to make a quilt that somebody can say, yeah, I'm going to curl up under that. Right. I appreciate and I enjoy seeing all the other, like, art quilts and all that. I think they're amazing. But I personally want to make something that when somebody's feeling sad, they can just curl up under it, or they're happy. You know, either way, I want them to think of me when they're curling up and enjoying it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the one of the true blessings and magic that is within quilting, you can truly feel the love and energy in the quilt itself when you lay underneath it.
Right.
And
at least that's our goal. That's our goal. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, if you've ever been presented with a quilt and you didn't quite understand this and you stumbled across today's video for whatever reason, be aware of how much effort and energy goes into that project. Even if it's a quick and easy style quilt,
there's still a lot of work and love and everything put into that. Yes.
Yeah. Even if it's just the picking of the colors, because you're considering that individual, if it's the choosing of just that right pattern, you know?
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people will say to me, you know, I've spent so much money and so much time in this. I don't know if people really appreciate it. Some people say, are they quilt worthy? Well, absolutely, they're quilt worthy, but you have to remember that once you give that gift, it's their gift, and they get to do whatever they want to with it. So we just have to keep our attitude that we know why we're doing it. and you know, if it's not appreciated the way we wanted it to be, then, you know, it's okay.
Yeah, I've considered myself a pretty selfish quilter most of my life. I like to show my work off and take it to the next town and show it off again. And I built this pillow a couple years back, and I thought this will be the perfect like just couch quilt. I'll throw, and I loved machine quilting it. It was super fun. It was very modern in look. It was actually Michael Miller's Cotton Couture. I'm just realizing that as I'm sitting in the booth saying that. Turquoise and blue is really fun. I kind of did like an old surfboard pinstripe in it, and I'm like, this will be the perfect quilt for my living room. And I put it out on a Thursday, and Friday night we get pizza and we watch a movie as a family. I don't think we made it through the trailers. I folded that quilt back up. I put it right back in my studio. I could not imagine that quilt being around pizza sauce. It was a terrible reaction I had. It was the worst ever. Have you ever retracted a quilt due to uneasiness?
Yes, so I have grandkids, right? And so we have the quilts out, they're laying over the chair, and yes, they're there for them to curl up under. Right. But there's just this one that is like, it's a friendship quilt. So like all my friends have put a quilt square into it, and I'm like, let's just put that one up, Right.
I was in Sisters last summer, as I go every year for the big outdoor quilt show there. Have you been to that?
Not yet. I want to.
Okay, keep it on the bucket list.
That's on the bucket list, absolutely.
So Valerie Wells, the family that puts on the show out there, has 3 children, and her youngest little boy, his name is Teague, and I think he's, got to be 8 or 9 years old at this point.
He's probably older, he's forgotten.
Yeah, no, I'm actually probably pretty current because he's several years younger than my daughter who had her birthday today. Ruby, again, happy birthday.
Ruby.
But it was really funny. We were out on the back patio overlooking the beautiful Smith River out there in Sisters, Oregon. So very rustic, rural, dirty, out in the garden setting. Oh, yeah. And there are quilts laying on the ground. Yeah. And I say, Teague, we got to hang these quilts up. We got to fold these up. And he's like, no. These are real quilts. I said, real quilts? And he goes, yeah, he says, I'm not allowed to touch any of the quilts in Mom's studio, but once they come out of the studio, she just throws them on the ground and says, it's a real quilt now, Teague. You can do whatever you want to with it.
Also, we should start calling the ones that we'll let people use the real quilt.
According to an 8-year-old, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah. So all of you, thank you for enjoying another fantastic video. Oh, I almost let you get away without answering a mystery question, though, because that was such a perfect way to end. But we're going to get one more great question here out of Lisa. Any of the red cards, please.
Any of the red cards. Okay.
And you have to read it and
I have
answer
to read it.
Yes, I already had to read one.
Which pre-cut would best describe you and why? Fat quarter, charm pack, square, or strip rolls? Strip rolls.
Okay, now the last person said that as well, and I just stopped them right there because this is a family-friendly show. I don't need you taking or undressing. We have plenty of fabric in the booth here.
Has nothing to do.
That's where I was going with it. Do you want to clarify any further, or shall we just be ridiculous and end it right there?
Let's be ridiculous and end it right here.
Thank you very much for watching. Awesome, Lisa.